All right. Yet another warm up. Hey, Atsuki. It's like standard. As soon as the stream starts. Hello, Atsuki. Catchphrase almost. Fantastic. Thank you for the support, Atsuki. Truly crazy. Yesterday's stream was weird, to say the least. I finally figured out, by the way, why the load up to YouTube was slow. It's Firefox that's messing with me. So there shouldn't be any problems now in terms of upload, I hope, using another browser. But it's strange that Firefox decides to have a slow upload speed. Maybe it is something with like cache. I need to maybe clear cache in the browser. No idea. Hey, Sergey Zielin Rolomancer. How's it going? Good morning. So hey, Tassus. Troll King Tassus. How's it going? Give me a suggestion of what to draw, everyone. I have a feeling I want to paint today and not do cartoony. Something interesting. I'm gonna paint today, not do line art. Swordmaster of Light. That's pretty cool. Teapot Brawler. That's funny. Alright. That's cool. So we got Swordmaster of Light. I am Swordmaster. Paint a wall. Alright. Cool. A Moon Priestess. That's pretty cool. Paint a wall can be interesting. That's an open topic. Is it with a headshot? Kurt Cobain style, paint a wall? Who knows? Let's see if that topic gets chosen. It's quite an open topic. Paint a wall. Swordmaster of Light, Teapot Brawler, Paint a Wall, Moon Priestess, Magic Fish. It took a twist to the dark. I mean, it could also be like baby's crash, cute. Who knows? Steampunk Sprayer. You can't have more than one, Sergey. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. If it's 6, there's still time for another one. Otherwise, I'll choose if it's number 6. Oof. Magic Fish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Magic Fish. I almost. I was hoping for Paint a Wall, actually. Magic Fish. I was really hoping for Paint a Wall. It was fascinating, I must say. It was a good random topic, Tassus. Hey, Rare Avant-Garde Rat. How's it going? I'm going to call you Rare from now on, not Rare Avant-Garde Rat. I'm not going to full sentence. Or full nickname, rather. Alright, so we're going to paint Magic Fish. So, instant picture in my head is a guy holding the fish close up, and you can see the fish glowing, and you can see the fish like that. The second was like fish swimming and having like magic trail through the water. I think I'll do the second one. What do you think of Avant styles? I don't know what Avant styles is. Avant style. Like strange 3D print-ish? Or am I not understanding anything? In 3D you can create cool abstract things, but 2D you can also create interesting things in 2D. But I think the difficulties of doing it in 2D is control, the mathematical control. While what's it called? With 3D you can create like what's it called? Mandel? No, what's it called? Mandelbrot was the mathematical equation, right? These kind of repeating mathematical solutions. Guy curb kicking a fish for me. That's very angry. Tazos, are you okay, sir? Hey Amir, how's it going? Shartha, what up? Very fashion things. I mean, it's hard to say really. I mean, I don't really understand the question in terms of if it's okay or not in 2D versus 3D. It's a bit of a... If you explain a little bit more, I guess. I can probably try to explain my standings on it. Hey Frenchie, how's it going? How I'm doing? I'm doing fine. Self-isolating like most of the world, at least most of the world should. Beautiful weather, spring is starting. Hey Uber Blackthorn, how's it going? What up? So I went for the picture in my mind about the fish swimming in the water, and the water, or it had leaving like a trail of magic as it's swimming. That's kind of what I'm going for. At the moment the picture doesn't look that fantastic as I'm kind of building it up, but hopefully soon as I start dividing the volumes and sharpening edges and so on, the fish will start to show itself. I will try to keep the fish like quite neutral is the idea. Keep the fish neutral, and then with the magic elements, making it special. Like the picture in my mind was like almost like an internal glow, but it's seeping out of the what's it called in English? The scales of the fish. And the trail being like almost like motion blur on low light photography. You know, when a car moves fast, you get these trails, kind of like that. So we'll see how I'll manage to end up realizing that, but I'm gonna try to build the fish up to that point. We'll see. Sergey, fractal art. Yeah, I mean, you can do that manually. I don't, it's not impossible, but I think fractal art, the strength of fractal art is the machine computer using mathematics, and you're creating a 3D form based on mathematical equation done by the computer. You could do that the same by hand, You know, it would be like, oh wow, you did this by hand, you're crazy. Why not just let the computer do it? But with all things artistic, let's say a mathematical equation doesn't necessarily look good. There's this kind of human artist input that can make the difference, right? But it is a weird line of, you know, like what's art and what's computer. It's all also down to who's making the art and what's the statement, you know. The whole thing about fine art is the tricky part, you know, like when there is no real definition of what you're doing. You can claim anything and see, oh well, you don't understand my art. Stuff like that. So that's why, for example, I love a lot more, the art I love is a lot more geared towards tangible things, set rules, realism as an example. Hey, Stabstar, what brush I'm using? I'm using a brush that is quite default. But I've adjusted a little bit. I'm not really happy with this brush in general, but my usual brush setup is I'm using this brush, which is like a chalky square. I don't remember from who I got it. I think it's some like Chinese artist. If you want my brushes, they are on Discord in useful links on I think it's on a pinned message at the top somewhere. But my brushes, most of them are from other artists. I used to do my own brushes all the time, but I played the numbers game more, where I download a lot of cool, interesting brushes, sketch around with them, whichever sticks to my painting style I keep, and I might tweak them a little bit. I might learn how to use them properly, because a lot of times brushes are used in a certain way, and by putting mileage into the brush in terms of how to use it, you kind of evolve like a shorthand how to use the brush. Like a round hard brush, the standard round hard brush. There's nothing wrong with a standard round hard brush, but a lot of people use it in many different ways, and it creates significantly different end results, and it's just the same flat hard brush. Then you can add the, you know, like the complication of like a custom brush, and you can use that custom brush in significantly different ways. This painting looks dog shit. Hey Orion, how's it going? Stabstar. No, I go 100 and 100 up top. The reason is why I do that is I have all the control on the pen. And by that I mean I've set up the pressure range in a way where that I don't need to adjust the opacity because I can get the full range in by pressure in the hand. And also the way I paint is that I sample a lot, and I have the sample on the button on the pen, or I use the Alt. Hey Örjan, how's it going? Welcome back. I hope everything is fine and your art career is going as intended. So now we're kind of setting up a base. Like I said, the intent was to slowly build the fish up, and it looks bad in a lot of for a long time. It always looks bad in when you do things like that, but it's important to stay calm and keep painting. Otherwise you might get discouraged. It is going fine, right? Cool. So how's are you still working on what clients, if you may, or if you're able to disclose, are you working with Örjan? For those who don't know, Örjan is illustrator, quite a good illustrator, and he was working on Gwent cards last time he appeared in the chat. So currently I don't know what he's doing, but he was on a stint at Gwent cards. Örjan, you're working for Volta? That's pretty cool. The fish doesn't look magical? I know. I'm setting it up, Tassos. I'm only 15 minutes into the drawing, and I'm taking my time a little bit. I'm aiming for 6.5 more minutes of kind of working up the fish a little bit, and then the intent is to spend at least the next 15 minutes trying to make the magic work. So I'm setting the palette up currently, Tassos, palette being colors, and the shapes to work, so that I can later on add like the things I need to add, right? Much like the drawing, how it was built up. That's ugly. From undefined to defined, from no colors to colors. The idea here is that I'll do the same with the magic, but also currently I'm just doing it for just for the fish, so I don't overcomplicate things and overshoot, right? So now that I kind of starting to have things under control, the relationship between everything, I can start then after that start thinking about the magic, because the idea of the magic is that it's gonna be in between the scales of the fish. So I could have gone the opposite. I could have gone magic first, all right, and then add the fish. But I would have loved to spend a little bit more detailing the fish, but because it's just a 30-minute drawing and I've messed up a little bit in the beginning of weak shapes, I'm going to start with the magic now. Just hope for the best. So the idea is that the magic will trail back into the background. The fish will have the magic coming through, seeping through in between the scales and kind of glowing. I'm not sure of what color. I mean, I could go opposite, so green opposite is kind of like purple, but that's going to create unnecessary vibrancy. Maybe I should shift it warm pink. Let's try this. Let's see how this ends up looking. You want purple? I mean, I can easily color shift this later. And the stab star. I am a very kind of traditional painterly style artist. So my brushes are used as they're used very straightforward. You know, I don't use them in a subtle way. My general style is very kind of rough and textural. So a lot of my brushes are leaning towards brush marks and texture. And I know that a lot of artists don't really do that. They have different takes on how to get there. But yeah, you'll find, if you find my brushes, that a lot of them they're geared towards painterly marks. Stab star, well, thank you. It's kind of you to say. I find it like the fun part of painting this way is like the struggle of getting it right. Is always so scary, and you're always like pissing your pants hoping that you'll make the right move down the road. That like, yeah, I know it looks bad. Here's hoping that I'll make it work. And I would say I haven't still made it work just yet, but I have 10 minutes left, so here's for hoping. Next step will be to take another layer pass on top and kind of create color variation. Hey Tassos, have a good one. Thanks for coming by and giving a topic suggestion. Hope for smiles when you zoom out. Yeah. Well, luckily, I don't have the problem, as I haven't zoomed in yet. Should I zoom out of the zoomed out version? Oh. I'm screwed. I'm screwed in that case. That's cheating. No, you see, if you remove the problem, there's no problem. Like if you don't ever need to zoom out, then you know. Can you say what softwares are must-haves at Opus? Photoshop. And any 3D software, probably free, like Blender. You don't need Blender at the office, but it's good if it's there. Because majority of what we do at Opus is design work. We don't so much do like high fidelity models or deal with models in that sense. We can get models now and then from clients that requests us using their base, but most of what we do is design work, and we have opted for the classic traditional skills. The base of understanding of design is regardless of what tool you're using. The principles of design still apply, regardless if you do it in 3D or 2D. So we are aiming to have a strong foundation of design over a specific program. But the specific program that we more or less have to have at the studio is Photoshop, obviously. Because if you're doing marketing art or marketing illustrations, you'd need a large file size for resolution. Hey, Captain Jetlag, how's it going? Welcome back, sir. Örjad, how will you know happiness if you've not experienced sadness? Such a deep question. What if you've never experienced sadness? How do you know what happiness is? What if you're broken? Like me? So I'm a landscape photographing enthusiast. I have always thought I could learn from digital artists such as yourself, since I don't have a great grounding in art. I would be super curious on your thoughts on some work of mine. What would you do? How could you improve it? What are the things not right? Etc. etc. Well, Stabstar, go ahead and share. Örjan, it was related to zooming in too much? What's the like you find the salvation in limitations, or whatever. I butchered that quote. It absolutely destroyed it. But the general idea, right, is that just because you can zoom in doesn't mean you should zoom in. If you remove all problems in your life, you'll find new ones. So I zoom in. True. You're struggling to put out work in a speedy manner? Aren't we all? Okay, 5 minutes left. Kind of reaching the point of where this picture was in my mind. A bit undefined for my taste, a bit messy for my taste, and the fish is way too ugly. What can you do? And Stabstar, join the forum and share your art. Not the forum. Why am I saying forum? Join Discord. Apostrophe Discord. You get an invite link. And share your art. Share your photos. There's not a lot of photographers in particular on the Discord, but I think that would be a cool addition to what's on offer in terms of artistic output. People could learn things from photos for photographers and the other way around. French, the zoominator. No, I don't zoom that much. 3 minutes left. Oh, Jesus. Alt height. You can do that, absolutely. Rotating the image. Yeah, it's a good way to do it. Uber Blackthorn. The way the scales look, they're okay. They look like they're burning. Like a burning magical fish. Kind of going over it, trying to get better edges. The biggest grief I have with this painting is the kind of softness of it. It's because of the foundation I laid. It's not strong enough, and it was very undefined and weak, and it creates a weak base to build on, and that's been like the biggest struggle. Like the shape is not strong, and the softness of the edges is too weak, so it's hard to get a good read on things. That's been the biggest constant struggle here in this image, I'd say. That looks really, really bad. And I'm not sure it looks so much like a fish, but more like a piece of shit. Hey Gria, how's it going? Some bubbles? No, I think that'll take it to Cartoon Land. It's already enough in Cartoon Land in terms of the really stylized shape. I don't need to add bubbles to take it over the edge. Need some contrast up there. Vomit in my mouth a bit. It looks magical, but weird. I agree. It's because the base shape of it, I went with a weak shape, and I built the image around a weak shape, and I tried to save it. That was my biggest mistake. The best way to have solved this would be to just restart it and had a stronger shape. But yeah, I didn't do that, and I paid the price for it. So don't build your house on sand, people. Starting to burst out the seams. Yeah. Anyways, magic fish. Mixed bag result. Not happy at all. But it is what it is. Watch your Angie. Thanks for the host. Sadly, I gotta get to work and cry in my shame of doing a horrible magic fish. Let's find someone to raid. Let's raid Kero Kerosene. Is that how you spell her name? Kerosene. Yes. I mean, what about this image that makes it weak? It's the stupid shape of the fish. Colors is okay, values are okay, but I built the picture around a weak image or a weak foundation of the fish. The fish is just like a ugly shape, and I didn't have time to refine it, so I just moved forward, built it on a base shape that's bad. Captain Jetlag, welcome back tomorrow. All right, so let's do the raid. Let's do the outro, then take you to the raid. So don't go anywhere. Have a great day. Good night if you're that part of the world. See you tomorrow for another attempt at drawing whatever you decide I should draw. Have a good one. Bye.